Hello my friends and welcome back. Thank you very much for being with me again today. When I was in school in Romania and I was studying English, one of the teachers told us that you will never going to be able to get rid of your accent, guys, even if you live in that particular country years and years and years. They will be able to pick from your speech that you are not native of that country. He also stated that, remember this was an English teacher, and he said that on the other hand, you will make a mistake, a grammatical error that they do not make, but you will make it because for you probably is not going to sound natural, or you're just going to make it. And they will pick up that little mistake, that made the error, and they will realize that one person who lives there might not make that mistake. Now I think this English teacher was kind of wrong because he didn't take into consideration the illiterate rabble who makes a lot of grammatical errors that you would be surprised. But he was referring to the third person. You know, like she does, he does, it does. It walk, let's say walks. It walks, he walks, she walks. We walk, they walk. Okay, the S at the end. Or you will make this kind of mistake somewhere and say she walked there and she spoke there. Then she, I don't know, instead of say does, she does, you just say she do. You know, who makes that kind of mistake? Not regular people, but he did not probably hang around certain kind of strata of society. Now, why did I say that? I said that because you realize that there are certain things that you will never be able to understand, and you will not understand, to internalize, and they will catch you. They will catch you. Oh, this is a second language. Got it. The same is in politics and in teaching. When you have a teacher, you realize if that teacher has any clue about a subject that he's going to teach you, if you know anything about the subject. If you don't know anything about the subject, you can't assess how much that teacher knows about the subject, because everything he says, you don't know, you can verify. You can't because you don't have the information. But if you know something, you can guess the level of that person based on the mistakes, errors that person makes. And if the errors are very childish, you realize that person doesn't know shit about that subject. Well, that brings me, or I take you, to the subject of today's video, which is this, I would say, very shallow, not read individual called Whoopy Goldberg, okay? You know this human person. All right, this human, you know, all right? Okay, now, you know her. She is the dumber she is, the bigger the mouth she has, all right? The ruder that she is, or more rude that she is, she thinks that she's right. And she's got a big voice, she's got her own show over there, and she is rude as fuck. And in her world, being rude meaning you are assertive and you are dominant. You know, like they say now, hey, women, you are empowered. Well, if you're a bitch, that doesn't mean you're empowered. You're a bitch. Okay, you can be empowered with other ways of proving that. Well, she is just using this kind of behavior. I watched her a few times in relation with other invitees. Yes, invitees. And I said, this woman doesn't know almost anything, just to yell. And she has a few words like Trudeau, fringe minority, blah, blah, blah. He's got a few, stereotypes or whatever words, and he uses those, or she uses those. I don't know what he identifies as, so I don't want to guess her. Anyway, so she. In this case, what did she do again? This article comes from the Jerusalem Post, so you can guess that she, someone that she was not supposed to again. Whoopy Goldberg says this: Hamas and the Taliban being terrorist groups depends who you talk to. So she says, well, if you talk to some people, the Hamas and Taliban are not terrorists. If you talk with other people, they are terrorists. Well, It was that saying, some people's freedom fighters are some other people's terrorists. Okay, I can see that, but in the end, there's certain kind of behavior that you can't really, that's a crime, it's a mass murder. Now, can it be justified? Like people try to justify, let's say, the mass murder in Hiroshima and Nagasaki. They still try to justify that. All right, now let's move on. The View talk show host castigated potential Republican plans to remove Ilhan Omar from congressional committee, but reinstate Marjorie Taylor Greene. Okay, now she says classifying Hamas and Taliban as terrorist organizations depends on who you talk to. ABC's The View's talk show host Whoopy Goldberg and Sonny Hostin said on Tuesday in a discussion about potential Republican Party moves, blah, blah, blah. During the segment, the View segment on Republican House leader Kevin McCarthy and whatever, comments on removing what he determined were untrustworthy Democrat representatives from some communities, another host, Sarah Haynes, explained why she was sympathetic to the removal of Omar, because she said some positive things about Hamas and ISIS or whatever that was, right? ISIS, Taliban, she said. And then Whoopi jumped and tried to defend. Obviously that hurt the Jews or the Israelis, and she still has a job. Now, she got in a little trouble maybe 3 months ago, when she said something that the Second World War was not about the race, about race. That's what she said. Obviously, you can't say that and work where you work, because people say, what? And then she said, why? Because there was not about black people, and for her it's just black and the rest. There's no other, just blacks, victims, rest, oppressors. So that's why she looked in these terms. So it says it was not about race, and everybody was like, cut the crap. I think she was just suspended for a week or two, and then brought back. She didn't lose money, and she didn't lose fame. She was not fired. She was not sent to work in a gulag somewhere. But I know someone else who was. You know who that is? Kanye West. Yay! All right? Yeah, made some statements. I would say not different than she did. Oh, the Holocaust, the Second World War was not about the race. Wow, really? And she heard the same people, because the same people went out and they said, you got it wrong, you're wrong. And she didn't, she came with an apology. There was not an apology. You can watch it on YouTube if you want to waste your time. Believe me. Anyway, go and watch it. And her apology is not an apology. All right? She blames someone else for that and so on. Like, what do you want, guys? I still stand by it. But look, she was not punished. But her ignorance on history, Second World War, and the Hamas and the Taliban tells me, like a second language, English second language, me coming here and making grammatical errors, among others. You figure it out. This guy is, doing like this with English language, okay? And I'm not hiding it because I can't. It's obvious, so whatever. But it matters what you say, not how you say it as an accent. That's my opinion. Yeah, it would look good if you would be like former President Obama, if you're articulated, but you don't say shit like he. He was very articulated and let me tell you this, but he was not saying anything of value. Well, I like people who say something of value, and maybe they're not that articulated, but they're fair and straight shooters, like zoom, okay? And she, on the other hand, she's kind of a straight shooter, but she's dumb. Not dumb. She's not very bright either, but she's uninformed. That tells me when she has an opinion on political issues or on historical issues, she doesn't have the basis, the foundation. She just turns things again, like Trudeau, the fucking idiot communist, okay? The same way. He turns notions, we have to be, tolerant, we have to freedom, we have a few words that he uses all the time in the same, linking them in the same sentences. All the time when I see that guy, and the same face and concerned guy, and he's very nice, and yes. Okay, that's what I feel about that weasel. I don't know what the fuck he is. I mean, I gotta check him. Probably nothing. They're just this. Anyway, so this is it with Goldberg. Did she lose anything? Like, what's his name? Kanye West? Billions? No? Endorsements? Adidas? No? And what, Gap? Why not? Because she's the darling. She says 99% she's on their side, and because she's dumb and unread, she makes this kind of mistakes. And she's not evil. When she's like full of hatred, she says it, and she doesn't know how stupid she is by saying that. She just digs her own hole. Now regarding the other guy, Kanye West, he broke out of the plantation, and that's the problem. He's not there with the rest of them saying, yes, we do what you tell us, yes. And for that reason, and being black or African American or however you call that guy, it's a problem. He could be an example for others. And it'd be like, hey, wait a second, where's this guy going? Why am I here with the shackles now? Jeez, I'm talking about intellectual shackles and moral shackles. Why am I here? I want to follow this guy. Hey, where do you think you're going, bud? All right, so I want to see her and how many strikes she needs to get, and she's gonna be, she needs only one if she says something like Kanye West, and she continues to be that way. Only one, but she proves that she is very a useful idiot and makes tons of money for the people with the script, and she knows exactly, and she believes in that. I definitely think that she believes in that. I believe her, but she is. Right? No foundation. And if she has foundation, then she's intellectually, I think, dishonest. And makes a point ignoring facts, and she makes it the way she wants. And if you point the facts out, she's going to call you names. That means shut the fuck up. Don't put the flashlight on me while I'm looting this little house. Okay? That's what she is. Thank you very much for being with me again today. So that's the difference between these two guys. Stay strong, stay smart, look for the truth, and be just.